Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. In the previous video I prompted ChatGPT to generate this code for me so that I could connect Excel to SQL Server in order to run queries directly from Excel with VBA, and it more or less suggested this code. Apparently I had to change here my server name and the database that I'm using, which in this case is AdventureWorks of Microsoft. And in the end, I was able to run a bunch of queries, and this one that is showing now will get all the columns and rows from the address table where the city equals Toronto. So if I remove this and click run, then we can see here that we have 24 records. And if I cross check this with SQL Server Management Studio, then we can see that there are indeed 24 records. And in case you haven't seen this video, I'll make sure to link it in the description. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to run multiple queries with a single click. But before this, I would like to change the code a little bit for better maintainability. And the first thing I'd like to do is I will change the name of this subroutine to something more simple. So I'll just gonna call this run SQL query. And yeah, I don't think there has been an agreement if this is pronounced SQL or SQL. So above all, I pronounce it SQL, but when I need to pronounce SSMS, I'll normally pronounce it SQL Server Management Studio. So the next thing that I would like to do is, as you can see here, we're hard coding the sheet. This is what the ChatGPT suggested. However, I would like to be able to choose in which sheet the data will appear. And in this case, I only have one sheet, but maybe I'll add more sheets. So here I'm gonna add an argument for this subroutine, which I will call worksheet name as string. And the idea will be to call this subroutine from another subroutine and to pass in which sheet the data will appear. So here I'm going to declare then a variable worksheet as type worksheet. And since this is an object, then I can set worksheet to be equal to this workbook.worksheets worksheet name, whatever the name is passed here. And then I no longer need to hard code here sheet 1, so I can change this to WS here, and also here. So this was the first change. Another thing that I'd like to change is obviously the query. So the query shouldn't be hard coded like that. The query will be passed here a string, and then I'll have to delete this line because otherwise it's going to return an error, I assume. And I can get rid of this line. So just to check that this code still works, I'm going to delete the data here, and just to check that the code still works, I'm going to create a subroutine which I will call test. And let's copy the SQL query string from here, and I'm gonna declare a variable here as string, and this will be, again, select all rows from the address table where city is Toronto. And then in order to check that this works, I will directly call this subroutine. So run SQL query, and the worksheet name will be sheet 1, and I'm passing it here as string. And this will be the SQL that I would like to run. So Let's see if I'm gonna get some error now. If I click run, then once again, we are getting the data, but instead of hard coding, we are passing these as variables. So now I can remove this and we can try to run multiple queries with a single click. So I'm gonna change the name of the subroutine to run multiple queries. And let's go back to SQL Server Management Studio, and I'm gonna delete this filter here on the city and show the entire table just to check what multiple queries I can run with single click. So let's see how many and which unique countries we have here in the country region. So I can write here distinct country region. And if I click execute, then we have data for Canada, United Kingdom, and United States. So that's what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna run 3 queries. One where the country region is Canada, but here in SQL, of course, the strings are enclosed in single quotes and not double quotes as it is in VBA. And then 2 more queries, one for United Kingdom and one for United States. So the idea will be to create a subroutine, then I will click here and the data, we will have 3 worksheets, one for Canada, one for United Kingdom, and one for United States. Now, I have created a video before that I'm showing how to add multiple worksheets dynamically with specific names. And I'll make sure to link this video in the description in case you're interested. So here I will simply assume that I have 3 worksheets, one for Canada and one for United Kingdom, and apparently one for United States. Obviously, probably in a real world project, then I should add these worksheets if they do not exist. If they exist, then first I will have to delete them in runtime and recreate them. But like I said, I have shown how to do this in another video, so I don't want to spend time in this now. And here I'm going to create 3 variables, SQL1 as string, SQL2 as string, and then SQL3 as string. And I will simply copy paste them. And yeah, VBA's the Visual Basic Editor is mad at me because it doesn't know what these lines are supposed to mean. So I'm gonna fix this now. SQL1 will be this, and here we need to enclose in double quotes. This is SQL1. This is SQL2, and this will be SQL3. And now I need to code this function, this subroutine 3 times. So run SQL query, and let's see how I named my worksheets. So the first one, worksheet name argument will be Canada, comma, and we're running this SQL query. So here SQL1, then run SQL query, and here this will be United Kingdom, and this will be SQL2, and then finally run SQL query, United States, comma, SQL3. So yeah, these 3 sheets are empty now. Then let's click run, and let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so we have here the data for Canada, and here we have the data for United Kingdom, and then finally the data for United States. And just to cross check that the count of rows is correct, I expect that there should be exactly 40 rows in the database for United Kingdom. So if I only run this query and check here the result, then we can see that there are indeed 40 records. So that's going to be it for today. If you have any questions, then please drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.